welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Kristen, this is my booktube, and as you probably have noticed, this is not my normal filming setup. I am actually on vacation. I am in London right now, but I still need to put up a video this week. I have been so busy trying to prepare for this trip, trying to get everything settled and sorted, along with other general life stuff, so haven't really had much time to dedicate to this channel like I want. So since I'm on vacation and not dealing with work right now, I really want to try to get back on track with my YouTube stuff. So here we are. And in this week's video, we're going to be talking about my August TBR. So I have a list of 4 books to talk to you about today that I really want to read in August. So the first book on my August TBR, I believe that I talked about in my last TBR video, but I just have not read it yet. I am probably going to try to read it on this trip, so I may finish it in July, but it is our book club pick for August, so I'm going to include it on this TBR list, and that is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. If you know anything about me, you know that I really like Abby Jimenez as an author. I think she's also just a really funny person in general, and that translates to her writing in her books as well. And Just for the Summer is part of a trilogy that I have not finished yet on purpose because I have been saving that book for when I'm in a reading slump or when I just want some summery vibes, and both of those things have been happening in June and July. And then it also became our Works book club pick for the month of August. So now I actually have to read it because I lead the book club meetings, so I have to read the book in order to actually put together a presentation on the book and talk about it with people. So that's book number 1. The basic premise of it is that the main character, Justin, has really bad luck in dating. Every girl that he dates after they break up ends up going on to meet their soulmate. And he finds someone else online who has a similar problem, and they decide that they should date each other just for the summer, then break up so that they can both find their soulmates. And of course, as you would expect with a rom-com book, it doesn't go as planned and they end up falling for each other. That is the very brief Cliff Notes version of the summary of that book. I'm just going over it very quickly because I do know I went more in depth on the description of that book in my last TBR video. So since it's in that video, I'm not going to dive really deep into it, but because it is my work book club's pick for August, I did want to include it because it is a book that will be on my mind in the month of August, and I may even finish it at the beginning of August. The next book on my list is actually another book club pick for an online book club that I am trying to be a part of. It is Inklings, that is run by Jack Edwards on YouTube. He is one of the first booktubers that I really got into watching. I would watch like review videos here and there, but just from random people. And Jack is really the main one that I started following and consistently watching. And he has started a little book club. And the first book for the Inklings book club is Evenings and Weekends. And I think I really want to try to at least start this book while I'm in London, because as you can tell from just the cover, it is set in London. Since I'm here, I may as well start reading it. And on Goodreads, the summary says, "For fans of Sally Rooney and Tori Peters, a taut and profoundly moving debut that follows a cast of intricately linked characters during a heatwave in London as simmering tensions and secrets come to a head over one life-changing weekend. London, 2019. It's the hottest June on record, and a whale is stuck in the Thames River. In the streets of the city, 4 old acquaintances want more from life than they've been given. On the summer solstice, the longest day of the year, their paths will intersect at a party that will change their lives forever. Maggie, a once hopeful artist turned waitress, is pregnant and preparing to move back to her hometown with her boyfriend and father-to-be, Ed, leaving the city she loves and the life she imagined for herself. Ed, coasting through life as a barely competent bike courier, is ready for a new start with Maggie and their baby, if only to finally leave behind his secret past of hooking up with strange men in train station bathrooms and his secret past with Maggie's best friend Phil. Phil, who sleepwalks through his office job and lives for the weekends, is on the brink of achieving his first real relationship with his roommate Keith. The two live in an illegal warehouse commune with other quirky creatives and idealists, the site of the party to end all parties. As the temperature continues to climb, Maggie, Ed, and Phil will have to confront their shared past, current desires, and limits of their future lives together before the weekend is over. Strikingly heartfelt, sexually charged, and disarmingly comic, Oisín McKenna's addictive page-turning debut is a mesmerizing dive into the soul of a city and a critical look at the political, emotional, and financial hurdles facing young adults trying to build lives there, and often living for their evenings and weekends. So this is a book that I've seen the cover of multiple times. It's a very intriguing cover. It's really pretty, obviously, and it calls to me as someone who really likes London. But I haven't been tempted enough to actually pick it up and start reading it just yet. So when Jack decided to pick that book for the Inklings read, I decided it was a great reason to actually pick it up and start reading it. So that's the first book on my August TBR. I probably will start it in July while I'm in London, but early August probably will finish it. And the next book on my August TBR, which once again I will probably try to at least start reading while I'm here in London, is And After All, a fan history of Oasis. So the reason why I'm in London actually is because I got tickets to see Oasis at Wembley Arena. And somehow Simon & Schuster found out that I am an Oasis fan, and they sent me an email telling me that this book was coming out in July to coincide with the band reuniting and going back on tour. So obviously I was intrigued, and I immediately went and found it on my Spotify because I don't think it's even available at my libraries yet. So I will be using my Spotify premium audiobook credits to read this one. And it is exactly what it says it is. It is a fan history of the band Oasis. I believe it starts at the formation and goes through the breakup in 2009, which I have not read other books, but I've watched like YouTube videos and documentaries that talk about the history of the band, and a lot of those really focus on like the early to mid 90s, like 91 to 96, or maybe like 97, and don't really go into the 2000s. And I especially haven't seen many that go into the breakup in 2009. So that also intrigued me about this book because it is more of a comprehensive fan history going through the entire history of the band up through the breakup in 2009. So this is an audiobook that I already have queued up on my Spotify, and I probably will actually start it today, but today is the 27th of July, so I only have 3 days left in this month, so more than likely I will start these books in July and actually finish them in August. So that's why I am putting them on the TBR, because I'm basically already starting my reads for August, minus a couple of books in progress that I don't know when I'm gonna finish, but I will hopefully finish those two eventually. The next book on my list is The Fury by Alex Michaelides. And this is a book that I have physically owned for a very long time. I think I got it around when it first came out. It was a book of the month book choice, and it is one of the ones that I ended up picking up because I do really like Alex Michaelides. I really, really like The Silent Patient. It's one of the first thrillers that when I was getting back into reading for fun in like 2021, 2022, that I read and really got me enthralled with reading again. So Alex Michaelides holds a special place in my heart for that reason. And I did like The Maidens, but I didn't enjoy it nearly as much as I enjoyed The Silent Patient. And I feel like this is going to be kind of in that same camp where I'll probably enjoy it, but I still think that it won't hold a candle to The Silent Patient for me, which is fine, but I still want to read it because I do enjoy Alex Michaelides and his writing. So that is why I decided to include this one. And then the synopsis for The Fury on Goodreads is a masterfully paced thriller about a reclusive ex-movie star and her famous friends whose spontaneous trip to a private Greek island is upended by a murder. This is a tale of murder. Or maybe that's not quite true. At its heart, it is a love story, isn't it? Lana Farrar? I guess I'll find out when I start the audiobook, is a reclusive ex-movie star and one of the most famous women in the world. Every year, she invites her closest friends to escape the English weather and spend Easter on her idyllic private Greek island. I tell you this because you may think you know this story. You probably read about it at the time. It caused a real stir in the tabloids, if you remember. It had all of the necessary ingredients for the press: a celebrity, a private island cut off by the wind, and a murder. We found ourselves trapped there overnight. Our old friendships concealed hatred and desire for revenge. What followed was a game of cat and mouse, a battle of wits, full of twists and turns, building to an unforgettable climax. The night ended in violence and death, as one of us was found murdered. But who am I? My name is Elliot Chase, and I'm going to tell you an unlikely story, unlike any that you've ever heard. So like I said, Alex Michaelides is an author that I really enjoy, so I'm really looking forward to reading this book, but I'm going in with the knowledge that it probably will not be one of my favorites from him, but I'm still expecting a decent thriller nonetheless, so that doesn't mean that I'm going to go easy on it in my ratings or anything like that. But I am very excited to read it, and I will definitely let you all know what I think of it once I finish it as well. Okay, so the next book on my list is one that I have seen everywhere, and it is None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. So I have read several Lisa Jewell books in the past. I know that people love Lisa Jewell. She's always been kind of mid in my opinion. I went back and looked at my ratings for her other books, and of the 3 or 4 of hers that I've read before, all of them fell in the 3-star range, so none of them really blew me away. I do remember the plots of most of them. I remember being intrigued by the stories and all of that stuff, but they just really weren't anything that special to me, and they didn't really leave a lasting impression to where they're ones that I think about when someone asks me for a thriller recommendation. So I've been kind of avoiding this book, honestly, because I just don't really want to intentionally read another mid Lisa Jewell book. But this one in particular is rated quite highly on Goodreads. It has over a 4-star rating. So I decided to give it a shot and see if this one is actually living up to the hype that the other ones did not for me. So the description for this one on Goodreads says, celebrating her 45th birthday at a local pub, popular podcaster Alex Summers crosses paths with an unassuming woman called Josie Fair. Josie, it turns out, is also celebrating her 45th birthday. They are, in fact, birthday twins. A few days later, Alex and Josie bump into each other again, this time outside of Alex's children's school. Josie has been listening to Alex's podcast and thinks she might be an interesting subject for her series. She is, she tells Alex, on the cusp of great changes in her life. Josie's life appears to be strange and complicated, and although Alex finds her unsettling, she can't quite resist the temptation to keep making the podcast. Slowly, she starts to realize that Josie has been hiding some very dark secrets, and before she knows it, Josie has wiggled her way into Alex's life and in her home. But as quickly as she arrived, Josie disappears. Only then does Alex discover that Josie has left a terrible and terrifying legacy in her wake, and that Alex has become the subject of her own true crime podcast, with her life and her family's lives under mortal threat. Who is Josie Fair, and what has she done? So I'm willing to give this one a fair shake, but I will say this is very reminiscent to some other thrillers that I've read before plot-wise. And just knowing my history with Lisa Jewell, I am cautiously optimistic that I will like this book more than some of the other ones that I've read by her. So I'm willing to give it a fair shake, and hopefully it will actually live up to the hype of what it's being rated on Goodreads. But yeah, that is pretty much it for my August TBR. It's pretty short just because I only have a couple of titles in mind that I really want to start reading towards the beginning of August. So hopefully we can power through some of these at the beginning of August and then have the rest of the month to just kind of mood read, see what I feel like listening to or reading on my Kindle in the moment as the month goes on. But yeah, that is pretty much it for me for this video. I'm gonna go wander around London for a while before I have to meet up with one of my friends for lunch. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and leave a like down below. Let me know. You should also subscribe while you're down there because I put out new videos pretty much every single week when I can manage it with my sometimes hectic work schedule. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!